This was Ireland's population in 1841, but this was the country's population by the end of 1851. In just a decade, the population was reduced by over 1.5 million. But how? The year is 1845 and one of the deadliest famines is taking over Ireland, a period that later became known as the Great Famine. While people around the world believe that this famine was caused by potato blight, the truth is much more sinister than that. In August 1649, Oliver Cromwell, England's military titan, leads his army to brutally decimate the Irish population, which is where the chaos truly begins. Ireland's population was reduced by 41%, and those who survived were banished to the barren lands of the West, while thousands were shipped off to distant shores as virtual slaves. But the oppression didn't end there. Shortly afterwards, the penal laws were imposed upon Ireland in 1695, stripping its people of language, religion, and the very right to learn. Irish folks became strangers in their own land, trapped in a cycle of poverty and ignorance, while English landlords lorded over their vast estates. Imagine, the year is 1801 and Ireland has now become part of the UK thanks to the Acts of Union. Now, before this happened, Ireland had its parliament. After joining the UK, Ireland sends 105 members to the House of Commons, but only 28 Irish folks can sit in the House of Lords, all of whom are chosen by other aristocrats. Then comes the year 1829, and Daniel O'Connell manages to secure Catholic emancipation for his people. But even this effort turns out to be too little too late for the downtrodden Irish. By this point, they're already absorbed in a life of destruction, surviving on only potatoes grown in unforgiving soil. But simultaneously, several other things were going on. This is how the first half of the 18th century unfolded in Ireland. Landlords had these guys called middlemen to collect rent from tenants, and these middlemen made sure the landlords got their cash while handling the dirty work. But here's the thing, these middlemen would then lease big chunks of land from the landlords, then chop these up into smaller bits and rent them out for a profit. This left the poor tenants, who were mostly Catholics, stuck in a tough spot. They had to pay high rents and work hard for the landlords just to make ends meet. And if they couldn't pay up, or if the landlords felt like switching from crops to sheep farming, they could get evicted, no questions asked. It was a brutal cycle of exploitation. At the top of this messed up pyramid was the ascendancy class, which basically consisted of rich English and Anglo-Irish families who owned most of the land and called all the shots.